This amazing man in his 60s looks 20 years younger than his age. But the most unexpected thing is that a few years ago, he didn't look at all like a man who was going to radically change his shape. Back then, Jake Platt had just started to take serious care of himself. What exactly did he change to look so different today? The answer turned out to be much simpler and more interesting than one might assume. No attempts to turn back time, just a few habits that gradually made his body work completely differently. Watch the video to the end and we will reveal his main secrets of youth. So, let's get started. He pays special attention to hand training. At first glance, this may seem like a purely aesthetic detail. Developed arms make the figure more athletic. But after 50 to 60 years of age, power loads acquire a much more practical meaning. With age, muscles become one of the body's resources that must be maintained. When the force decreases, it is reflected not only on the mirror, the usual actions, climbing the stairs, carrying purchases, getting up from a chair, keeping your balance, may gradually require more effort. Therefore, arm training is not just a way to get relief. This is a contribution to the physical independence of the future. There is another interesting point. Strong arms are part of the overall physical fitness. Strength work gives the body an incentive to maintain muscle tissue, and regular exercise helps to avoid turning the body into a system that is gradually losing its capabilities due to lack of use. The body has a simple logic. It tries to maintain what it needs regularly. Therefore, Jake's approach can be viewed not as an attempt to pump up at 60, but as creating a reserve of physical capabilities. And this stock is especially valuable with age. Youth in a functional sense is not necessarily the absence of wrinkles. This is the body's ability to do what you want it to do. Move, lift weights, walk, maintain stability, and not depend on outside help in ordinary matters. But training is only one part of his lifestyle. Jake walks a lot and spends time in the sun. Here, two different factors are combined at once: movement and being outdoors. Walking may seem too easy to be considered a workout, but it is precisely in its simplicity that there is an advantage. Walking forces large muscles to work, supports the cardiovascular system, and increases the total amount of movement per day. However, it is usually much easier to tolerate than intense workouts, so it is easier to make it a permanent habit. This is especially important for longevity. A useful activity is not necessarily one after which you recover for several hours. Much more valuable is the workload that you can repeat regularly. One hard workout does not compensate for a week of almost complete immobility, and daily movement is gradually becoming part of the lifestyle. The sun in this story is also interesting, but it is important not to go into myths here. When exposed to sunlight, the skin is able to synthesize vitamin D, but its amount depends on the season, time of day, latitude, clothing, skin type, and other factors. Therefore, the sun cannot be considered a guaranteed way to get enough vitamin D. But a walk in the fresh air at the same time as natural light is a reasonable combination if you follow the rules of safe exposure to the sun. But perhaps the most powerful part of his story is not even related to training or walking. It's related to the moment when he started. Jake took care of himself only a few years ago. This is an important reminder for anyone who believes that healthy habits should have been formed decades ago. Of course, age cannot be abolished. You can't just return the body to the condition of a 20-year-old person. But the physical condition is not something that is determined once and for all. Regular exercise helps maintain strength, muscle tissue, and endurance, and gives the body an incentive to stay active. That is why the phrase, "it's too late" in matters of physical fitness often turns out to be a trap. The sooner a person starts taking care of the body, the better. But starting later can still make a huge difference. Several years of consistent action can produce results that are difficult to achieve through a single attempt to dramatically change your lifestyle. Gradualism is especially important here. When a person dramatically changes everything at once, such a system often quickly falls apart, and habits that can be built into everyday life are easier to maintain for years. For longevity, this is more important than a brief burst of motivation. The body needs a constant signal that movement and strength are still necessary for it. Jake's story shows another important thing. True transformation rarely begins spectacularly. At first, it can be a regular workout, then a walk, another active day. Individually, such actions seem too insignificant to noticeably change a person. But when they become regular and are repeated for months and years, the result gradually goes far beyond individual muscles. Physical fitness, endurance, well-being, and even the usual perception of one's own age are changing. If you look at the whole Jake lifestyle, there is no one secret product, procedure, or universal remedy. Strength exercises help maintain muscle strength. Walking supports daily activity and gives the body a moderate cardio load, and outdoor time becomes a natural part of the day. But another thing is especially interesting. He continues to adhere to this lifestyle when his youth has long been left behind. And this is where the real meaning of his result may lie. Perhaps the goal is not to stop aging at all costs or constantly try to look younger. It is much more important to preserve the qualities that make a person feel young functionally: strength, mobility, endurance, energy, and the ability to choose how to spend their day on their own. Jake Platt at the age of 60 clearly shows that age is not the point after which the physical condition of the body stops changing. A person can start self-care much later and still see major changes. If a few years ago he decided to change his habits, but today he is in better shape, and it means that the past really does not determine his present. Friends, what do you think about this man? Write your opinion in the comments. If this video was useful to you, then please like it and share the link with those who might find it particularly useful. We also recommend watching this video, which has now appeared on your screen.